get that cord out of the way.
It's always in the way, isn't it?
It's got to get out of the way.
Yep. It's getting twisted, and it's working though. It seems like
it's out of the way now.
It's working really, really well.
It's out of the way. I'm happy.
Yeah. No cracking, no popping.
No, I think my I know you don't care about this, folks, but I think my microphone.
They care, Pastor.
My microphone cable upstairs is about this close to going.
You can feel it?
I had one little pop
how do you
this
know?
week. Well, at one of the services, 8 or 9:30, one of the two, it popped, it crackled. See, they're talking
Very
about it behind the
suspicious.
scenes. You heard it, didn't you? Yeah, just once, and once it goes,
It's
it's done.
very unpleasant
Yes.
for everyone involved.
So I don't know how we got on this topic. We were going to talk about guns.
No,
No, I'm kidding.
Seriously,
We weren't.
yeah.
No, we weren't going to talk about. I'm kidding.
Well.
I just wanted to see if everybody was awake today. So, see where everybody's at. Watch the message board light up now because I said that. That's right. All of a sudden we.
All the things you have to say.
Yes, today is the rant day, so
It is. Make
No.
your rant Tuesday.
it is not. It is not. We have a couple of things going on.
A couple of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got through this weekend. We talked about the importance of when we give, what's the attitude we bring to it. We heard, and we won't hear that today, but we'll hear it on Thursday. Bridge over troubled water.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Really
So,
meaningful.
Really nice.
We had 16 folks join the church on
Yeah,
Sunday.
how cool is that?
Yep, and I know you had a
So we also
youth
had
and
a
family
youth
meeting,
and family
right?
meeting going simultaneously.
Yep.
So they both kind of last about 2 o'clock, and
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I
kinda-
saw you guys were wrapping up when I
right
did.
about the
and-
same time they wrapped up.
And we also had a number of folks moved by Rick Gerard's testimony. So we got a few folks signed up.
Gosh, that was all last weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's really great. So
A lot of stuff going on. I had to put 2 new tires on a car this morning.
did you?
Yeah, I was
Wow.
had my laptop open sitting in Discount Tire today.
Yeah.
Yeah, down by at Windmill and Pecos.
Okay.
You know, there's an O'Reilly's, there's Discount Tire, there's Midas, and then the Terrible's right on the corner.
Okay.
It's like
okay.
right in there.
Yeah.
By what I paid, it did not feel like Discount Tire.
Did not feel. Yeah. They are not.
Right? Yeah, it just felt like tires, not Discount Tires.
Did you get any fun tires, like ready to go off-roading or?
They're Yokohama.
Okay.
That's as good as it gets.
Good as it gets.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
Well, that's fun.
no, not
Did you
really.
get the
Not
as
really.
good as it gets tires?
I think I got good ones.
Yeah.
The cost alone tells me I got good ones.
Yeah.
So, but not as expensive as truck tires.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever own a large pickup truck, tires are really, really expensive.
Yeah.
So these were just sedan expensive. So,
Okay.
but I had 2 new ones on the front, or newer ones on the front. I'd been putting off the 2 in the back.
Okay.
So it was time.
Okay.
I mean, they're 5-6 years old, so they're
Well, it's an exciting thing
Yeah,
for.
that was
you
my-
got that all taken care of?
yeah. But get this, this is a complicated story, since you opened the can of worms.
I did.
So we own a Hyundai.
Yes.
Hyundais
A Banger.
have a specific, what you call hub lock on one of the bolt or the nut on the tire. You have 5.
Yes.
Every tire has one that has a special lock on it.
Okay.
And so I went in yesterday. So this was today I got tires. Yesterday I went in, they said, we can do this. Do you have the key,
Special
the
lock.
special unlock key for this thing? I said, not on me. Let me go home and look. Well, as you know, I moved since.
Right.
So I went digging around. I dug through the car twice. I dug through my car once. I looked through my tool chest a couple of
All sensible places
all
where
the
it could have
sensible pla-
gone.
No. So, unless you have the specific unlocking thingy-mabobber, you couldn't even change your own tire on the road. Okay. So
Yeah, that's not always helpful.
no.
Sometimes it could be helpful, but not
but
always
I boil it
helpful.
down to this: when we bought the car, no one said to us, "Hey, there's a special unlocking socket that goes with this car to change the tires. So you should really put it in a safe place and never remove it." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is as important as your car key. Just keep it in the car.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been like, okay. Didn't say a word about that.
See, if you needed a special key to get the catalytic converter out, that might be more useful.
For
Yeah.
thieves.
Yeah.
Max
Less
found that
useful for
out. Yeah,
thieves.
yeah, right.
But yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I took it back this morning and I said, "Can you just break them off?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "Break them off."
Yeah.
So they broke them off, put a standard, nut on there, and it's only
Mhm.
1 out of the 5 on the tires. So I did my best to find the key,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went looking.
I'm surprised you're talking about it live on the air with all the people watching. There could be someone, you go outside today
And all my tires.
and
are
all your
missing.
tires, cars up on blocks
I
and
know, right?
your tires are all gone now.
Well, they could take 2 of the 4. Let
They
me
could
put it
take
that
2
way.
of the 4.
2 of the 4.
Well,
And it's not the car that's here, so you'd have to go find my home address too. So, anyways, so that turned out to be a thing, right?
Okay.
But
that is a thing.
it is a
That
thing.
is a thing.
Oh, the other thing that's happened since the weekend, we've enrolled Juno in school.
Ooh. Now, has she attended first
She
class?
had her first class on Sunday afternoon.
How did that go?
She was good for about 10 minutes,
Really? So, but a good dog for how long is the class?
an hour,
Oh.
and
yeah.
then she fell asleep.
Which is not what they're hoping for.
Well, they're like, yeah, puppies, we give a pass to puppies because they can only do so much.
Mhm.
And it was also Juno's first day in doggy daycare on Sunday.
On Sunday, yes, everybody came to church.
Well, and that's the whole point. If you don't go to 9:30, you probably don't know that over the past 6 weeks, my family hasn't all been in church because someone has to be with
The dog.
the dog because
Yeah.
she's not ready to be by herself yet. She could be, but then we'd have to replace a lot of items in the house. And we're not ready for that. When you say, well, why don't you just leave her? Well, we could, but. So we enrolled her in doggy daycare, and she went in the morning, just part of a day, not all day, just part of a day.
Mhm.
So Rachel, my dad, and Rachel's mom could all come to church. They were all there.
You were all here. Yep.
And went and picked her up and said she was a little scared, but she made one friend, Alfie.
Alfie.
Alfie, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's good to be making friends.
yeah, I would think so. Especially of the canine variety.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So we've done doggy daycare, we've done tires, we've done dog school. We've had a lot of living
You're
since
getting there.
Sunday afternoon.
You're getting there. Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Yep. And so, yeah. So that's and last night I made chili for dinner.
And chili for dinner.
Not from scratch. So in other words, not for the chili cook-off. But talking about chili cook-off made me think we should have chili for dinner. But
Okay.
I bought.
But this is just kind of in general, just kind of general chili.
Yeah,
Not trying to outdo anything here.
No, because you go to the grocery store, whatever your favorite is, and you go into that cooking aisle where there's all the little envelopes of stuff.
There are. Yeah.
There's an envelope for pot roast, and there's an envelope for beef au jus, and there's an envelope for tacos. you know.
Yes.
I bought the envelope for chili.
Mhm.
McCormick's brand. I mean, so in other words, I wasn't trying to be inventive. I was just trying to get a spice mix so I could do, the hamburger meat, the diced tomatoes, the tomato sauce, the spice packet,
Yeah.
and pinto and kidney beans, and boom, we're done, right? So
That all sounds wonderful.
yeah, so we had, it wasn't quite from scratch chili, but everything but the spice mix we
Mhm.
blended together. I made cornbread too last night.
And cornbread too.
Yeah, so I fed the troops at home with all of that. So there might be leftover chili in my future tonight. So
I think that's all sounds wonderful.
I mean, you think about how busy somebody can be. I feel like I'm on the busy end of the spectrum.
Yeah, you've accomplished a lot.
I was happy at 8 o'clock last night. Dishes were done, dinner was cooked, everything was put away, and I turned on PBS,
Mm-hmm.
and Antiques Roadshow was on. You ever watched Antiques Roadshow?
It's been a few minutes since I've watched it.
That
more than
is
a
a
few.
cool show.
It is. I remember it being fun.
So
I remember.
So this PBS.
How many seasons does that
Oh,
have? Are they making new
20,
episodes of
yeah.
it? Really?
And
wow.
so they go from town to town. They've even been here, and they let everybody know. And you can bring your prized antique in, and they'll tell you what it's worth. And
Yes.
so when you watch this, they're all over the country, and people bring in like stuff that they think is worth a lot, and it's worth nothing.
Mhm.
And then there's people who are like, yeah, my grandma had this, and it's been sitting on a shelf, and it's worth like $200,000. And they're like, we had no idea, right?
Yeah.
And so you just see this, what I guess I'd say, potpourri of stuff. It's anything from China to artwork to toys to
That's great. Yeah.
collectibles.
No. I remember it being a fun show.
Yeah. So last night they were out east somewhere, and one of the last items was a 1942 jersey of Ted Williams, and Ted Williams was one of the best baseball players in the history of baseball.
Okay.
Like he hit 391. He
Okay.
and he was consistently good his whole career, and even took time off to serve in World War II, and took time to serve in Korea,
Wow.
and came
Wow.
back and still was like lights out good. Like, this is how good this guy was.
Hmm.
Anyways, he had a 1942 jersey, and the guy brought it in. He said, my grandma got it, and from the Red Sox, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, do you have any idea what this is worth? And he's like, no. And she's like, it's between $250,000 and $300,000, this jersey.
Really?
Because it was a game jersey. He had worn it, and it was authentic, and like stuff like that, I think is like really cool to see Americana
wow.
history, right?
Yeah.
So-
yeah. No, that is. Yeah. There's something fun about that.
So I do get a kick out of watching Antiques Roadshow. So I watch a little bit of that. It's way better than watching the news.
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh. So I got a little brain break last night. Got to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Gird myself to get tires changed this morning. All that. So
Yeah. And took care of it all.
I did. So do you have an exciting life like this?
Let's see. So yesterday, kids were off. There was no school.
Oh man, I forget about those
in
holidays.
Clark County. So, and kind of nice. They've had quite a few Mondays, which corresponds with my
Day off.
day off.
Yeah.
So, took my kids, and then a couple of the neighbor kids drove up to Mount Charleston. Have you been there yet? No, still haven't been there. It's kind of one of the time of year right now. You don't have the escape from the heat, and
There's
you
no-
don't even have snow too much for like sledding. So you couldn't even go sledding.
There's
if you
not a
wanted.
lot of motivation.
Yeah,
If it was 110 down here,
it's beautiful up there.
right?
then. Yeah,
I'm waiting for
yeah.
that lodge to get built.
You don't need a lodge. You can just go up there.
I know, but then I just sit on a rock. I don't want to do that.
You can do a lot of things. So for me,
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, we went up there, and the snow is minimal, but
We do live in
the
a desert.
ice up there, because people have stomped down the snow so much, it's pretty icy. Like you can barely walk, and you can climbing up the hill. Do you remember climbing up the hill and it's all icy?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So it's a lot like that, and you
Mhm.
can. The kids shoot down that hill like
I bet
missiles.
they do.
And if you're walking or trying to like wobble, yeah, you can't move. You just like you see kids with this terror in their eyes, like no,
I gotta get out of the way,
They
right.
can't move, and then this kid who can't steer
Going 100
flying
miles an hour.
straight at him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like bowling.
Yeah, so we did that for a while.
Yep.
Then we decided to
Go to
climb
the
over the hill, and before we went to the hospital,
Yes, right.
I was like, well, we're gonna pause on that. We'll go over here.
And what was
Go
over
to
there?
another area where there were no other people. There were just trees you had to
Ah,
avoid.
okay.
And then
Hit a tree or keep going.
we ran through that and
That's a day.
went sledding there.
Yep.
Then we went over to some caves.
Good.
Explored some caves.
I did not know there were caves up there.
There's some caves. Yeah,
Yep.
limestone has a lot. If you
Okay.
kind of looking around,
Yeah.
you can find some. There's some good ones.
Okay.
That are right off the
I
road
did not
there.
know that. Okay.
So, explored some of those, climbed around, and then came back.
I assume the roads are completely clear.
The
'cause-
roads are totally fine.
yeah.
Yeah. And then came back. I did some laundry.
Always exciting.
Yeah, washed some dishes.
Yep. Been there,
Washed
done that.
some baby bottles.
Yeah, I got
That's kind of a never-ending thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, I forget if there was.
That's a full day though.
Yeah, I was trying to repair some of the inner tubes,
Oh yeah.
and some of them are,
Beyond repair.
yeah,
Yeah.
debating whether or not to try to really repair some of these
Beyond patchwork.
beyond patchwork.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Kian go sledding?
No, he has not gone sledding yet.
Okay.
No. Hillendale is still open,
Got it.
and so he got dropped off.
He got dropped off.
And
I hope he's not watching, because I'd
I
hate to hear
know.
that you went sledding without
I
him.
know he doesn't know.
I'm not
so
gonna tell
don't
him.
tell him.
I am not going to tell
Don't tell him.
him. He went to Hillendale.
He went to
There we go. Okay. I didn't know if you like strapped him in right up here, like in one of those like Snuggies, and you guys just went for it.
No, he has never been sledding.
Gotcha.
The other boys might have by his age.
It was last
but-
year at this time, literally like this week. I was up in Wisconsin a year ago, and was out. That's the last time I was out in snow. Was last January.
Year, about this time.
Yeah, I mean
There's
there are
some snow out
times
there.
in the fall that I'm up there and hoping I don't get snow, but got snow. But this year's fall trip did not have any snow. But last January I was up and I decided to go check on things.
On things.
And I had to shovel my way into the house, and that
This
was
year
no
you
fun.
can just check on how much snow has fallen.
That's exactly right. I can just look. I don't want to. I use a camera
Yeah.
instead. I set up a camera,
Yeah.
so now I can just take a peek and see what's going on. But I figure if I was back then, my dad was still in Wisconsin, so I
Mm-hmm.
was up visiting my dad, and I'm like, well, if I'm this close, we'll go.
Go do that.
Yep. And I bought myself last year. I bought one of those Sherpa lined hats with like the ear flaps,
Mhm.
and they would look silly here in Las Vegas, but they're pretty commonplace in places that go below 0.
Mhm.
And so I was really glad I bought this hat, so I could literally. It isn't just for looks to have the ear flaps up. You literally pull them down to keep your ears warm.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
Yeah.
That's
And
gonna be handy.
so I ended up buying this. So speaking of this hat, I bought this hat last year to get ready to be in cold weather, and I I save it for when I'm going to go and be in cold weather. But ended up buying, and it's a wool hat. I ended up buying it, and they're made in, of all places, Ironwood, Michigan.
Ironwood, Michigan.
So Ironwood, Michigan is in the UP,
Okay.
and it is about 40 miles due north of where Rachel and I have our home.
Okay.
And so at the time, I was just looking for the best made, warm baseball cap with ear flaps. Had no idea at the time that there is this company called Stormy Cromer that makes heavyweight kind of winter gear, like wool shirts and wool hats and that kind of stuff. So bought the hat and then realized after the fact, well, that's actually not too far from where I sometimes take up residence. So
How about that?
yeah, so that's kind
How
of
about
fun.
that?
Yeah.
That is kind of fun.
So probably won't break it out again until next year sometime if I'm going to be out in cold weather. But I have it when I need
Did
it.
you have it when you needed
Yeah.
it?
That
kinda neat.
that trip also precipitated me buying a down jacket too, because I knew it was going to be the thick of things. So.
Yeah, it's you can get by without it for a while here, but then if you go somewhere where it is a little bit cooler,
Ye-
they're sure nice to have.
Yep, if you're going to be prolonged in it. I'll just tell you that it's you don't realize you need it until you need it, and it'll probably sit in the closet most of the time, obviously here, but on those rare occasions you're going to travel or go up to the mountains.
Go up to the mountains.
You want to have that kind of
There you go.
warm weather gear. So, anyways, that's kind of life in a nutshell this
Life
week.
in a nutshell.
We don't have Bible study this week. We will a week from now, a week from Wednesday, and we're in the book of Daniel. but we have a couple more weeks of our Foundation's sermon series, and we will finish. Well, we have another installment this week, and then the following week we'll end up. So, but should we take a trip back to 11 o'clock?
Let's do that.
So we have this song that we want to share with you that it's not a new song. And then today I found out that the last time that song was performed or sung here was, 12 years ago?
I think he said 12 years ago.
So it's not a new song. It's contemporary, but it's not a brand new song. But it really fit this idea of who are you serving, or what are your motivations behind serving? And it was at 11 o'clock, and the song itself has a message, but even before, I think we have the little testimony before we begin that Jessica Ramskell talked about before she sang the song. So let's take a listen, and we'll talk about it when we come back.
Thank you, pastors. I wanted to take a moment today to first thank Robbie for trusting me to lead this service today, and also for AJ for being here today, as well as the rest of the band. I wouldn't be able to do it by myself, that's for sure. A couple weeks ago, when Robbie asked me to help lead this service, my stomach dropped a bit. It's gonna sound really weird because I sing up here every single Sunday. I don't actually like getting a ton of attention. Public speaking is not my forte. I have my notes here. Robbie even told me that I didn't need to say anything before the song, I could just sing it, but something bigger than me said that I should. I get up here nearly every Sunday to sing for everyone here and online. Of course, I want to sound good, not forget the lyrics. There's even a part of me that wants you all to remember the songs that I sing. But in the end, I don't do this for me. I do it for the one who saves. I do it because it's uncomfortable. I do it because I feel called to serve in this way. And singing is the one way I know how to serve. And I do this to leave a legacy, yes, but not in this world, but his. I don't mind if you've got something nice to say about me, and I enjoy an accolade like the rest. And you could take my picture and hang it in a gallery, all the who's and so-and-sos that used to be the best at such and such. It wouldn't matter much. about me.
I like it.
It's a really nice song, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
because
just a
to
really
me
nice
it
song.
embraces the both and. Is of course you want people to speak well of you, but also why do you do the things you do, and also leaving behind something for people to remember.
It's that, but it's a healthy perspective, and I
Yeah,
love it too.
right.
It's just that perspective of we all need those, a little bit of accolades, a little bit of, hey, we're all in this together and we appreciate you, but I'm in this to be God's child,
That's right.
and to hear that and to know
That's
that
right.
that's why we're here.
And at the same time, it's okay for it's nice to hear you're doing a good job.
It sure
right?
is.
Yeah. So I like that. It's not so often we live in extremes in this world. It's either this or that, and we want to make or paint an argument of either or, binary choices. And this song really encapsulates really where not only do I live, but really the Lutheran faith lives in that kind of that gray, or it's like I'm not living on other people's praise, but it's nice to hear once in a while. I want to leave a legacy, but I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. It's you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like this
Yep.
living. But this song comes back to us. We haven't done it in 12 years, and here at church, and it is Nicole Nordman from an album back in 2002. And Nicole Nordman has won several Dove Awards and recognized in the Christian contemporary music community, and this song is called Legacy.
Yeah.
So like I said, I really like it, and I was thinking about some of the places where talking about what does it mean to leave something behind it, and often at funerals, I will talk, especially if I know them, talk about what is the legacy that someone leaves behind, and it can be any number of things, but I always encourage people to live into that legacy of the person that you're saying goodbye to. If you're at a funeral, if this is that moment that you're kind of adding closure to someone that you care about, think about their life and maybe live into that legacy as opposed to letting not only their memory but the things that they did die with them isn't necessarily helpful when you can live into the best of someone else's life and carry that forward. You think about families who lose someone who was the one who always had everybody at their house for holidays and gathered everybody, and that person goes, and you say, well, who's going to pick that up? Or are you just going to let the family never gather again?
Yeah.
Where's the legacy of that person thought that was so important? Who's going to pick that up?
Yeah.
You know?
There's something special that some people really have that, and they just, it brings them together family-wise. They kind of centered around those people. And that's a gift.
It is a
That's
gift.
A wonderful gift.
It is a gift. So I want to, like I said, I want to go to three places today, one in the Old Testament and two in the New Testament, really talking about or implying what does it mean to have a legacy. So we're going to begin in Joshua chapter 4, and Joshua is the story of the time the people of Israel finally come in and take possession of the land that was promised to them all the way back 400 years, 500 years earlier in Abraham, where God says to Abraham, I'm going to give you this land, and your descendants will be as large as the stars in the sky or the sand on the seashore.
Yeah. Yep.
And this is just the beginning of laying a hold of that promise. And the reason it's called Joshua is that the leader of Israel after Moses was a guy named Joshua. So the book is named after him because he's leading the people. So listen to this, Joshua chapter 4, verse 5. And God said to them, go over before the ark of the covenant, the Lord your God, into the middle of the Jordan. And each of you is to take up a stone on his shoulder, according to the number of tribes of Israelites, that'd be 12, to serve as a sign among you. In the future, when your children ask you, what do these stones mean? Tell them that the flow of the Jordan was cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, And when it has crossed the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off, and these stones are to be a memorial to the people of Israel forever. So this, like I said, this is at the beginning of Joshua, and God says, now's the time to cross into the promised land, and you're going to begin that journey of occupying the land. But just like, and not a lot of people remember or know the story, is in the same way that God split the Red Sea. You know,
Yes. That's the story that is remembered.
That's right.
Moses leaving Egypt, they split the sea,
They walk
they
through.
go make it to the wilderness.
That's right.
Away from Pharaoh.
People forget that the book end of the story is God does the same thing with the Jordan River. Now it's a very small river.
Right.
In
And not
some-
as dramatic because you don't have the army chasing you.
You don't.
Yes.
And in some places, one might argue that it's more like a creek than a river.
Right. And you could also, in this story too, there were people who didn't want to cross that river.
No.
They were afraid to go into that place. And
Yeah.
so it's just, you're getting another miracle here, but yeah.
Yeah. The side story to that was two of the tribes said, "I tell you what, we'll stay over here on this side,
Yeah.
and we'll take our land allotment over here, and you guys go. Or we want you to go, but we'll stay here. But if you ever need us, we'll come. But we think we'll just settle on this side.
We're happy right
Right
where
here.
we're at. We don't need to go over there.
We don't need to do that." And God and Joshua said, "Get your butts in gear. You are coming." You know. And,
Right.
But I do remember
They didn't
that-
believe in themselves,
No,
right?
they didn't,
yeah,
because
they
they
didn't
were
believe they
afraid
could
of
do
what
it.
was
Yeah.
ahead. And they thought it's quiet over here. So the bookend story is God cuts off the Jordan River in the same way that the Red Sea splits on a much smaller scale because the Jordan River is smaller. Nothing compared to the mighty Mississippi.
It was not that kind of river.
Yep, and not like necessarily the Colorado River in places. It's it's smaller, but nonetheless, the water was cut off. And at the time, God said, "You want to remember this." And so to remember this, He's like, a representative from each tribe should take a good size rock or stone from the river, and when everybody's crossed, you're going to build a monument. It's just a time, and it says, let me see here. Let me find it. In the future, when your children ask you, "What did these stones mean?"
Yeah.
Tell them, right?
Yeah, so it's it'll be seen for generations to come.
That's right.
Yeah.
So leaving a legacy sometimes can be leaving something that stands as a remembrance. In this case, it was stones. And it was not the only place in the book of Joshua that they did this. There were other battles and other things where they stopped to build a stone memorial. So this is not the only one, but there are several within the story of Joshua of like, well, let's remember this. Good things, and they also built memorials to remember the bad things.
true.
To stay faithful.
That's true. Yeah.
Yep. And of course, that always takes me back to 1999 or 2000 was the last time I remember doing a sermon series on Joshua. It was here.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys, before I came, if you ever did a sermon series on Joshua.
No,
No.
not that I've been around for.
So we did a sermon series on Joshua, and Pastor Ray wanted to make sure that, just like in the book of Joshua, that we made a stone memorial.
Wow. And I've heard the stories of this.
Yes.
And tried to imagine what it would have been like, because and from some of the stories I've heard, there wasn't a lot of time between being told there needed to be a stone altar and it needing to get
So
built.
the idea of that part of it was the week before it began.
Yes.
And of course, we called our handyman extraordinaire, and still is at times,
And still is.
Steve Rontagen, and Pastor Ray says, Steve, I decided we need a stone altar because we're going to be talking about all these stone memorials for the next 6 weeks. So instead of the table that houses communion, like we even have today,
Yeah.
we took that one down. It was actually a really good sized table. We took that out, and Steve built a stone memorial with a top on it, so we could still have communion, right? And Steve, being as smart an engineer as he is, he said we should use lava rock.
Yes, because it's lighter.
It's lighter, right? Have you ever picked up lava rock? It's
sharp,
but it's
It'll
light,
cut
right?
ya.
And so it ends up to have a table big enough to do communion on. Ended up being a pretty big stone memorial with a wood top.
So even though the rock itself is light, it turned out to be fairly heavy.
It became more heavy than we could ever imagine.
Yeah.
And so it got built, and we had to demolish it at the end of the sermon series before we could even move it off of
Yeah.
up front because
Yeah.
it was that heavy. But I do remember our stone altar, our stone memorial at Community Lutheran Church.
gosh.
So if
That's
you
a
were a
trip.
member back in 99 or 2000 in our old sanctuary, you might remember that stone.
If you took a picture of it too,
yeah.
bring it in.
We'd like to see that. But I do remember because I was a part of the crew during the week to remove it and realized that this thing must have weighed like 500 or 600 pounds by the
Wow.
time we got all that lava rock on there that
Wow.
Steve, because he glued these pieces onto this frame, right? Because
Yeah.
you couldn't just pile up rock and put a piece of wood on top. So it had a frame underneath it. So he had to glue all these rocks on and realized this thing's way too heavy.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Which only goes to show that in the real thing, if you gather up 12 large stones and pile them up, they're
Yeah.
probably going to last a while, right?
Yeah.
So at least our attempt at doing one here,
Yeah.
same thing. Had we not moved it, it would probably still be there today.
But you were in there moving it.
Yeah.
You were the cleanup crew.
I was part of the cleanup crew with that.
Wow.
So I do remember the Joshua sermon series. And
That's something else.
I remember that in that sermon series. And I don't know why I remember this, but I preached on the sin of Achan in this sermon series. Achan was the guy who, when God said, "You're coming to occupy the land but not profit from it," so when you occupy a city or whatever, don't take plunder. It's not about the plunder.
Yeah.
Well, Achan decided to hide some stuff.
Yes.
And all of a sudden they started losing battles.
You had to
And-
find which tent
Yes.
it was in. Yes, it
And
was hidden in.
so that was Achan.
Yes. Okay.
So-
Okay.
Yeah, so that's that. I remember preaching on that. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. No, we have not done a Joshua series.
maybe that's
Maybe that might have been the last one.
Yeah,
but,
right. I'm not. If Steve, if you're watching, don't worry. I'm not going to ask you to build a stone altar. again.
He's already wondering.
Yeah, I know, right? And besides, he would just say, "I did it once."
He did it
Doing
once.
that again.
Yes. And apparently the altar was not stored somewhere in the back of the church.
No. That was a one and done.
Never run across any
I haven't seen-
hummus
yeah, I was about to
stones
say any
in
lava rock.
around the
Yeah.
church somewhere.
So one way to build a legacy, to remember things, is to have build a memorial. I mean, the smaller version of that is you go on vacation, you go somewhere special, and what do you do to commemorate that? Is you buy a trinket, to remember being there.
Yeah.
For example, I guess in some ways, the legacy went to Bryce Canyon for the first time last fall, and we were in the gift shop, and we bought a print, very inexpensive print, for the wall. I'm guessing the framing was probably 5 times more than the print itself. You know what I'm saying? Because framing's not cheap. We wait until there's coupons.
Yeah.
But we have a framed print that we really liked from, going there, right?
Yep.
So Bryce Canyon. So that would be like, oh, let's remember an important event that made a mark
Yes.
on your life.
And it does. And those are important to
same thing,
have. Yeah.
right? Touchstones of what you've done. Now, let's move into the New Testament, and both Peter and St. Paul indirectly talk about leaving a legacy of faith for those who go on after them. And
Yeah.
so,
All right, so yeah, the first
Go
one
ahead, yeah.
from St. Peter. He was kind of turns out to be one of the spokespeople of the disciples.
Yeah.
You know, he really is the one. He has the voice.
Yep.
There, not always correct, but he was the one who kind
was
of led
passionate.
the way. He was passionate.
Love
yes. The disciples, but this would have been written much later in 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 15. And I will make every effort to see that after my departure you will always be able to remember these things.
So, you know, his letters are talking about Jesus. I mean, he was there. He witnessed all these things, and he isn't necessarily the official leader of the church, but boy, everybody looks to him. And as he's writing these letters, you know, he's thinking about grace and love and forgiveness and how to move forward. And he kind of finishes a thought by just basically saying, you know, I'm not going to be around forever, but I'm not just this letter, but I'm going to work out some other things so that you remember my testimony, that you remember the things that I'm talking about right now after I leave.
Yep.
So leaving a legacy of how you lived your life and what you believed in. And, you know, I think that is one of those things. I mean, for example, one of the legacies that I'm sure, just so you know, I'm sure will never be utilized again, and I mean internally, like family, is I have saved the entire body of preaching work that I have done in the last, now coming up on 28 years?
Okay.
28 years of ministry. I have a file folder on my computer that is backed up, by the way.
Yeah.
Everything's backed up. Labeled sermons. I created that file folder, 28 years ago in May, and I have everything categorized by sermon series or by season, like Christmas and so on. And this is a huge file folder with nothing but Word documents, but I have saved my body of work. And like I said, I will make sure that it's in, maybe on a thumb drive or something for family down the road. Do I think any of them will ever open up and read my work again? Probably not. But I have created a legacy that if anybody's ever interested in it,
That is something that's that's neat to have.
that it is
that is
there.
really neat to have.
And I think originally I did it not for that reason. I did it because in case I ever wanted to go back and see if there was an illustration or something that would generate ideas for future sermons, right? And so I just thought, I'll just save them, and then later on it came to the point of like, well, maybe, and not guaranteed, maybe my children or grandchildren will want to be, well, this is what your grandpa did, and here's his writing. It's not preached anymore because I'm gone, but manuscripts, right? So I have no idea how many pages that would be if I'm not going to count it, but it's 28 years of ministry so far, and I got a few more to go. So I find that fascinating. But he's like, I will make every effort after my departure that you will be able to remember these things. Well, I'm just saying that after my departure, somebody in my family will have access to remember the things that I said.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I like that.
And I'm pretty sure that if I willed that to somebody, they'd be like, that's what I get.
I think that'd still be something you could do, though. That would be great fun.
Everybody gets a signed copy of my... No. No. But I did. And I've just decided, that I'm just going to keep saving stuff. And if anybody's ever interested, I always have a full,
That's
I'll have a
older.
full career of sermons
Yeah.
all in
Yeah.
one place, right?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah. I suppose after I retire, and somebody says, hey, we're really desperate and we need somebody to fill in. Well, then I got a Rolodex of sermons. Just so
do.
you know, I write new every week here, but if I'm retired and somebody wants me to do something, I'm not above saying, oh, let's see what I already have done, right?
You'd probably wind up making your own
Probably.
touches to
I
it at the
probably
time,
would.
too.
That's
yeah.
right. So, legacy. Lastly, Paul. Paul writes this in Philippians chapter 4. He says, whatever you've learned or received or heard from me or even seen in me, put into practice. And the God of peace will be with you. So he just, exhorts or encourages people to say, if there's something that you've seen in me that encourages you, live into that. Live into the work, the sacrifice of St. Paul. And he's like, you'll never be me, but you certainly can live into the legacy of the things that he did. So I think there is something to be said for remembering people who made an impact in your life. I mean, I think one of the things that just occurred to me is, one, and these are small things, like my mom left a legacy of being a baker. And Rachel's picked up on that and bakes the cookies, and mostly they're Christmas cookies, but bakes those same recipes that my mom had gotten from even previous generations. So living into the legacy of family recipes, that's one small way of remembering. I mean, we certainly remember my mom every Christmas when the smell of those familiar cookies are baking in the oven, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having those little moments. They matter. They're important. And to
Absolutely.
be able to reflect on that, and as they talk about reflecting on the people you've been around who have been faithful.
That's right. Exactly. I think so in other words, it doesn't have to be some big, faith moment, but there's little ways to live into legacies. Both my
Absolutely.
mom and my grandmother Berggren, so my dad's mom, were great cooks. And that's one of the things that I enjoy doing is I enjoy cooking. And so I guess in a small way I'm living into the legacy of both my
Absolutely.
grandmother and my mother
Absolutely.
in cooking at home and really enjoy that. So in other words, yeah, there's a faith component to having a legacy of somebody you've admired in your family or somebody you knew and trying to live into that, but there's also small ways that bring lots of comfort and joy by remembering somebody in a favorite cookie or a favorite meal or a way they did something that you want to hold on to. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. That's not living in the past, but it is honoring and remembering someone you care about.
Yep.
So I think that's all good.
Remembering, and we build our faith on the foundation that others have laid for
Yep,
us.
the
And so
shoulders.
it's just like,
Yep.
so we're growing from there.
That's exactly right. So think about those things today. And Philip is not with us. He had a full busy day, and he has to do some traveling this week too. And so he just said, I got too much on my plate. And I said, that's okay. Don't worry about that. So we will not see him today or Thursday, but he'll be back with us next week. So
Absolutely.
so with that, I just wanted to prepare you for the hard, quick ending.
It's a hard ending.
Yeah. So I didn't want to shock anybody. When we go right to the closing.
Take a breath.
Closing credits, right? So, with that, we hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless you. We love you, and take care. And we'll see you on Thursday.
Sounds good.
Bye bye.